Most people believe creativity happens when you're working hard or brainstorming for hours. But here's the shocking truth. Creativity often strikes when you least expect it. In fact, studies show that 80% of creative ideas happen during unfocused moments, like taking a shower or going for a walk. Your brain needs space to wander, and that's when the magic happens. Did you know that the average person has over 60,000 thoughts a day? The trick is, you can unlock creativity by paying attention to those random thoughts and moments. The world's most famous innovators, like Einstein, Steve Jobs, and JK Rowling, didn't force their ideas. They let them come naturally, often during times when they weren't even trying to be creative. In this video, we'll dive into how to unlock those unexpected bursts of creativity. You'll learn how boredom, random moments, and even failure can be your secret tools for breakthrough ideas. Stick around to discover how you can stop waiting for inspiration and start creating without even realizing it. Ready for that eureka moment? It's closer than you think. Chapter 1. The spark in the mundane. Turning boredom into brilliance. Creativity often strikes when we least expect it. In fact, some of the most brilliant ideas come during our dullest moments. Boredom, far from being a void, is actually a fertile ground for creative breakthroughs. When we're bored, our minds have room to wander. According to neuroscientist Dr. Mary Helen Immordino-Young, the brain is actually most active when it's idle, making connections that we often miss when we're constantly engaged in something. When you're not busy, your brain starts to create new neural pathways, leading to new ideas. Think about it. Many of history's greatest inventions, from the light bulb to penicillin, were discovered by accident. Thomas Edison famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration," but he also knew that creativity often comes from unexpected sparks during routine work. So, instead of fearing boredom, embrace it. Don't rush to fill every moment with noise or activity. Allow yourself time to let your mind wander. Your best idea could be waiting just beyond the mundane. Research backs this up. A study by the University of California found that people were more likely to come up with creative solutions when they took a break from their tasks. This happens because your brain, when not actively focused, starts connecting dots in unconventional ways. It's not always about trying harder, but about giving your brain the space to process and innovate. Sometimes, it's the simplest things that spark creativity. The next time you feel bored, don't fill that time with distractions. Instead, sit back and let your mind drift. You never know when an innovative solution or idea might appear. Chapter 2. Unlikely inspirations. How random moments ignite genius. Creativity doesn't follow a straight line. In fact, some of the best ideas emerge from completely random moments. These aha moments often occur when we're not actively thinking about the problem at hand. Albert Einstein once said, "Creativity is intelligence having fun, and that playful approach to life can lead to unexpected breakthroughs." Take, for example, the story of Post-it notes. Art Fry, a 3M scientist, came up with the idea while singing in the church choir. He needed a bookmark that would stick without damaging the pages, and voila! A revolutionary product was born. It all started with an unplanned moment of inspiration, showing that the most innovative ideas often come from the most unexpected situations. Sometimes, even the smallest distractions can lead to massive creative leaps. Studies show that taking a walk or doing something unrelated to the task at hand can boost problem-solving abilities. In fact, a 2014 study from Stanford University found that walking increases creative thinking by up to 60%. When your mind isn't focused on the task, it begins to work in the background, making new connections you wouldn't otherwise notice. Random moments of inspiration can also come from other people. Many of the world's most creative minds have been inspired by fleeting interactions or casual conversations. Steve Jobs once noted, "Creativity is just connecting things, and often, those connections come from unexpected places." The next time you're in a random conversation, stay open. An offhand remark could spark your next big idea. When you're open to receiving inspiration from the world around you, creativity can strike at any time, from the mundane to the extraordinary. So, stay alert to those spontaneous moments. They might hold the key to your next breakthrough. Chapter 3. The Power of Patience. Why waiting for inspiration works wonders in today's fast-paced world. We're constantly told to hurry, to produce quickly, and to stay on top of everything. But when it comes to creativity, sometimes the best thing you can do is wait. In fact, patience may be one of the most powerful tools in unlocking your creative potential. Research shows that the brain needs time to process and organize information before it can come up with new ideas. A study from the University of Toronto found that taking a step back and letting your brain work on a problem in the background leads to more innovative solutions. This process is called incubation, and it's when your brain makes all those connections and breakthroughs, often when you're not even thinking about it. This idea of letting things marinate isn't new. Many famous creatives have spoken about how important it is to give ideas time to grow. Author JK Rowling, for example, took years to develop the Harry Potter series. She said that the ideas came to her slowly, almost in a dreamlike state. The patience she exercised during that time allowed her to refine and perfect her story, eventually creating a cultural phenomenon. The importance of patience can also be seen in nature. Consider the slow growth of a tree. It doesn't rush to grow its branches or produce fruit. Instead, it takes time to develop the roots and structure necessary for long-term growth. Similarly, creative ideas need time to grow into something impactful. So, don't be afraid to take a break from your work. Let your mind wander, take walks, or engage in other activities that allow you to rest. Giving yourself time to think can be far more productive than rushing through the process. Patience isn't about idleness. It's about trusting that your brain is working even when you're not actively engaged in problem solving. So next time you find yourself stuck, don't force the ideas. Instead, take a step back and let them come to you. If you're finding these tips helpful, be sure to subscribe for more creative strategies and insights. Chapter 4. Shaking up your routine. How stepping out of comfort zones breeds creativity. Creativity thrives when you step out of your comfort zone. Routines, while comforting, can lock you into predictable patterns that stifle innovation. According to a study by the University of California, people who regularly challenge themselves by breaking their routines are more likely to come up with novel ideas. When you shake things up, your brain is forced to look at problems from a new angle. Take a look at history. Some of the world's most creative individuals, like Leonardo da Vinci and Albert Einstein, were known for embracing the unknown. Einstein himself once said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing." Embracing curiosity often means stepping into unfamiliar territory and leaving behind the security of the known. This idea is backed by research on neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections. Studies show that when we introduce new experiences into our lives, we stimulate our brains to create fresh neural pathways. This leads to a more adaptable and creative mindset. Trying new things doesn't always have to mean major changes. It could be as simple as taking a different route to work, trying a new hobby, or learning a new skill. Even small changes can ignite new ideas and perspectives. For instance, in a study conducted by the University of Plymouth, participants who altered their daily routines came up with significantly more creative solutions to problems. Sometimes, breaking out of your routine also means changing your environment. Creative spaces have long been associated with innovation. Google's headquarters is a prime example. The company has made its workspaces playful and flexible to encourage out-of-the-box thinking. If you're looking for a way to spark creativity, consider rearranging your workspace or working in a new location. Shaking up your routine is about more than just avoiding monotony. It's about actively seeking out new experiences that challenge the way you think. So, the next time you feel stuck in a rut, try something new. Your brain will thank you for it, and you might just find the breakthrough you've been looking for. Chapter 5. In the flow. How letting go leads to unexpected innovations. There's a magical state known as flow, where everything seems to click. This is when creativity happens effortlessly, and time seems to stand still. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who first coined the term, defines flow as the mental state where a person is fully immersed in a task, enjoying the process without focusing on the outcome. It's in this state that some of the most remarkable creative breakthroughs happen. Studies show that being in flow increases brain activity in areas responsible for creative thinking. In fact, research from the University of Sydney shows that flow states enhance problem-solving abilities and can help you see patterns that you might have missed otherwise. When you let go of your need to control every aspect of your creative process, you allow ideas to flow more naturally. Being in flow often means losing track of time. You're so focused and engaged that you forget about the clock. This is why many artists, musicians, and writers talk about being in the zone while creating. When you're not worrying about deadlines or expectations, your mind is free to explore new ideas. So, how do you get into flow? One strategy is to make sure you're doing something you love. Csikszentmihalyi's research found that people are most likely to experience flow when they're doing an activity that is challenging yet enjoyable. It's about finding that balance between skill and challenge. Another key to entering flow is to remove distractions. A study by the University of California, Irvine, found that it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain focus after an interruption. So, to enter flow, make sure you eliminate as many distractions as possible, whether that's turning off your phone or finding a quiet space. While it can be hard to force flow, you can create conditions that make it more likely. The key is to let go of control, immerse yourself fully in the task, and trust that the creativity will follow. The next time you're stuck, try to let go of expectations and focus entirely on the process. This is where the magic happens. Chapter 6. The Beauty of Failures. How mistakes can be your creative superpower. Failure doesn't have to be the end. In fact, it can be one of the most powerful drivers of creativity. Many of the greatest creative minds, including Thomas Edison and Michael Jordan, have embraced failure as a stepping stone to success. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset that leads to breakthroughs. Studies support this idea. Research by the University of Pennsylvania found that people who embrace failure as a learning opportunity are more likely to succeed in the long run. When we fail, we learn what doesn't work, which helps us refine our approach. This iterative process is often the key to finding the best solution. Failure also forces us to think outside the box. When a traditional approach doesn't work, we're pushed to look for new ways to solve problems. This is why many artists and innovators view mistakes as part of the creative process. When you fail, you're given a chance to reassess, experiment, and innovate. Take, for example, the famous story of the Post-it note. As mentioned earlier, 3M scientist Art Fry initially failed to create a strong adhesive. But rather than giving up, he kept experimenting. This led to the creation of the Post-it note, one of the most successful products in history. Failure teaches resilience. The more we fail, the more we learn to keep going. In fact, a study by Stanford University found that people who embrace challenges and failures are more likely to be persistent and creative. So, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Each failure is a lesson in disguise and a necessary step on the road to success. Next time you face failure, don't see it as a setback. Instead, view it as an opportunity to grow, refine your ideas, and innovate. The most creative people know that failure is simply part of the process, and embracing it can lead to some of the most groundbreaking ideas. If you enjoyed these creative tips, don't forget to subscribe for more strategies on how to unlock your potential and boost your creativity.